Hey there, I'm Tatiana Tarasenko, and in this video I'm going to walk you through a three-step model in social media and Google Ads that brings in over $1 million in overall monthly revenue for our clients. This system is still going to be relevant for years to come, even as AI technologies continue to evolve rapidly. What's coming up in today's video? How can you make your marketing budget pay off 5 times or more? My take on AI, how to use it in a way that drives results and not just end up with generic, lifeless content that kills your business. What kind of creative content should you create in a highly competitive market to build brand awareness so people recognize you and start talking about your brand? How to find a great specialist with the right skill set. We all know the buzzwords: strategy, audience research, competitor analysis, but how do you turn that into actual revenue on social and Google Ads? How do you make it work as a part of a bigger machine alongside your other marketing channels and long-term brand vision? Why am I qualified to talk about building an effective marketing system? I went from being depressed and completely lost to founding a UK-based agency where our team now helps clients hit over $1 million in overall monthly revenue. And yes, I used to be that specialist with a proud face who could present a fancy monthly report, but behind the scenes, I was making random, illogical decisions. It all ran on looking busy and good relationships with management, not on real results. I'd be like, look, I did 15 posts on TikTok, but it wasn't about results. I'm telling you this so you can ask yourself, do I have people like this on my team? It's an important question. I had to learn the hard way through trial and error on real cases before I could confidently say we now have a system that works. Today we work with both small businesses and major industry players. Here are a few examples. Biotrade Cosmetics, a brand making over $10 million a year. We manage their Google Ads and social ads targeting. Ganor Dominique, a luxury shoe brand worn by Lady Gaga, Winnie Harlow, Elon Musk's mom, and more. We made content for this brand and ran ads on Google and social media. For every $1 they spent on ads, they earned $4 back, and that's what a 400% return on investment, or ROI, means. If we're talking about services, here is Admiral Dispatch, an American logistics brand with a $20,000 monthly ad budget that achieved a 120% ROI. We know how to deliver strong results even with relatively small budgets. For example, Wallpaper Meyer, with just $1,500 a month, we reached an 800% ROI. We also promote experts. For example, we helped a psychologist gain over 20,000 followers purely through Reels without spending anything on ads. You'll find more clients' logos on the slide, though we can't show everyone due to NDAs. We've consulted across 150 niches, and often just by looking at the brand's social media or website, we can tell whether it has a real potential or needs refinement. Who is this video for? If you're tired of pouring money into a black hole, if you want to evaluate your current team and see what can be improved, or if you just launched a business and have no idea how to build a proper system. These are the exact questions most founders and marketing managers have, and that's what we'll tackle today. Why stick around till the end of this video? I've got a surprise for you. We usually charge $200 for this, but today you'll get it for free. So listen closely, let's get started. Good news, people still buy online, and a lot. For example, retail stats show growth and continued projections for the future. Referral models, partner collabs, all great. But today, people in most cases either Google you or check your socials. So your social media and website are your landing pages. It needs to show people that you are what they need. Now here is a challenge. The marketing landscape has advanced significantly. Before, you could slap up 3 posts, throw together a basic landing page, run some ads, and boom, revenue. Today, only a polished multi-channel system with skilled specialists plus AI support can bring results. Customers don't buy after one ad anymore. In our clients' Google Analytics, the path looked like this. Saw the ad, got a referral, read an email, then bought. Touch points are complex. You can either mourn the good old days or roll up your sleeves and build a system that works. Our proven 3-step model for hitting $1 million a month, you'll recognize many of the terms. I'll show you why it didn't work before and how to make it work now. We start with strategy. You'll understand what your audience truly needs so you can sell effectively through Google Ads and social media. Then we'll move to content. You'll learn how to hook your audience and convert them with impactful, memorable content. And the third stage is absolutely crucial, analytics. Because very often when something in the strategy isn't working, the first instinct is to drop it altogether. But the right move is to identify exactly where things went wrong, figure out what's working better, double down on that, and rework what's underperforming. Let's start with strategy. Problem number one, a specialist who claims to know everything might seem like a cost-saving solution, but someone who's truly an expert in everything is basically a robot from the year 2035. One of our large clients went through 12 different specialists over 8 years before finally realizing that he needed different marketers for retail and wholesale. Yes, we get it. You might have one marketing person on your team, but that person can't possibly know the deep, technical nuances of both Google Ads and social media. Problem number two, people launch sales strategies before they've figured out the core messages that sells. You throw up ads, make reels, spend money on the website, but don't practically understand your audience's pain points or how your offer solves them. Problem number three is that many specialists aren't truly willing to dive into audience analysis. They quickly ask ChatGPT or DeepSeek things like, oh, create an audience analysis and content plan for event catering, accessory sales, etc. Or they rely on vague assumptions, surface level conversations with the founder to figure out who they're selling to. And as a result, you end up with ads that seem okay, neutral enough to appeal to everyone, but in reality, they don't resonate with anyone. They're often overly generic because ChatGPT gives you a broad, templated, and dry responses. Look at this example. Get the edge your property deserves. Why should I follow this person or download their checklist if the value is completely unclear? I've listed 15 ways to understand what your audience needs. I won't go deep into each, that take 5 hours. But just note, GPT is at the very end of the list. It's only helpful once you already know the nuances. Audience and competitor analysis isn't just a problem for small businesses, even large companies struggle with it. For example, .art Registry, they've sold over 300,000 domains with most users on annual subscription. It's a strong business, but their traffic mainly came from registrar partners, and they had trouble building a community, especially when it came to social media sales. Using the audience method I described in the previous slide, we helped them gain over 70,000 followers in 7 months, achieved a 10% increase in website traffic and a 5% boost in social media-driven sales. We tracked the exact words artists use to describe their fears, pains, and desires. If ChatGPT called the domain a digital identity, but the audience said my website name, then we used your website name in the ads, speaking the language of the target audience. And by the way, this client also proved our belief that many products can be adapted for social media. Selling domains alone was tough, but once we started talking about the free website builder that comes with a domain, which allows artists to sell their work, it had a major impact on revenue. Here is another example of a strong ad offer. In this case, the analysis showed that employees were frustrated with the food options, so the ad focused on fast delivery, the chef's expertise, quick ordering, and a varied menu. And it was written that way specifically because those things matter to the audience. If you're curious about what questions to ask your audience to strengthen your product and boost revenue, I've got something for you. Everyone who tags me in their Instagram stories with insights from this webinar will get a free guide from me. As a marketing agency owner, I've only recently decided to scale up and launched my own social media just a few months ago. So please tag me, share your takeaways from the webinar, and help me grow my brand. In return, I'll send you our guide, questions to ask your audience to increase your revenue. In short, you should only start allocating budgets for ads and influencers after you've clearly refined your messaging. In many cases, businesses conduct customer development interviews where they sell products via Zoom, and the points that convince customers to buy are then used in their ads. And even then, I wouldn't recommend throwing in huge amounts right away. If we're talking social media, start by testing each ad creative with a $50, $150 budget. If it performs well, then scale it up and invest thousands. Same goes for Google Ads. In many niches, you can begin with a $1,000 monthly budget. If it converts, great, invest more. And of course, you shouldn't work with more than 3 audience segments, because right now there is a strong emphasis on speaking as directly as possible to a specific customer profile. Competition is high, and communities are forming around brands based on shared interests. So pick audiences that bring in the most revenue, have the strongest pains and fears, or will get the fastest results from your products or services. And here is a great example. One of our clients, a psychologist, she had almost no followers or sales because her reach was low. Instead of trying to appeal to everyone, after all, psychology is for everyone, right? We explained that this sell to everyone strategy is a dead end. We focused on a clear target audience, women who have experienced abuse. After working with us, she gained 22,000 followers in just 4 months, all organic, no ads. She received hundreds of inquiries and her client base grew rapidly. Okay, I hope the foundation of the first stage is clear. Now let's move on to content. Here's what usually happens. Content gets created on autopilot following the typical 3 posts per week routine with zero budget for ads or influencers, and then management expects money to start pouring in. Unfortunately, it doesn't work like this. Your revenue depends on high quality, high volume traffic. Even if your reels are getting a few thousand views each and you post 14 of them a month, your overall reach is still too small to generate real sales or meaningful follower growth. Another common mistake is turning your brand into a content machine, cranking out 2-3 reels a day. I have nothing against large amounts of content as long as it doesn't hurt quality. But too often this turns into shooting meaningless trends or posting about topics your audience doesn't actually care about. And that just makes your brand look awkward or irrelevant. Or asking ChatGPT to write 40 posts for your brand, and that's a recipe to disaster. It's also crucial that management has the right mindset. If you're paying your content team $3,000 plus per month and expecting 5-10 times return on your total spend, then you need to be actively involved. That means adjusting your product or service based on what the specialists recommend, if it's something that matters to your target audience. Organizing opportunities to shoot content, either you participate or if you don't want to, it should be your team, users or influencers. But under no circumstances should you take the I'm staying out of it approach. That mindset will sabotage everything. Here is an example of content we created for Ganor de Mig, a shoe brand worn by Lady Gaga, Winnie Harlow and other celebrities. This reel received 6 times more views than the average on the account. It's a great example of how important it is for content to create a wow effect. If you only post nice pics of your products and services, your account will look like everyone else's. This day, a brand is a mini media network. Every product needs its own vibe-packed story. That means brands will lean way harder on creators who've got charisma, real emotions, and a life that feels relatable. So when I hear, let's use only AI avatars, no humans, I just say it will make your brand look artificial. Many people are now sensitive to AI, and for some, these fake videos even feel unsettling. Let's see what things look like in a year and how advanced the video generation becomes. But for now, relying solely on AI-generated content is not recommended. That said, it's crucial to understand what kind of content to create based on the type of product or service you offer. If it's an emotional purchase like fashion or toys, you need to focus more on visual emotional reactions and creating a relatable world where your audience sees themselves. By the way, all the examples I'm sharing are from leading brands generating hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars in revenue through social media. If we're talking about products and services that improve daily lives, like appliances or cleaning supplies, then trigger-based headlines that address pain points and show the product in action to solve common audience problems are much more important. If we analyze the most common mistakes, we'll notice that many brands give off a vibe like, I'm a smiley sales consultant trying to sell you something. Here is the kind of content I would recommend with the attitude, here is what worked for me. me. Look how it solved a real issue in my life. A casual, lived-in vibe that feels like a recommendation is really important here. If we're talking about experts in hard niches like finances, the focus should be on showcasing measurable financial results and using trigger-based headlines. If we're talking about soft niches like psychology, wellness, or coaching, your content should focus more on emotional and universal human needs like feeling understood, safe, or fulfilled. You want to speak to people's inner experiences. These are general guidelines to help you find direction. The specifics should always be shaped by your audience and competitor analysis, which we covered earlier. Let's talk more about AI. As you've probably realized, only using AI won't bring results, but can significantly enhance your efforts. Here is a list of AI tools we use for social media. The same goes for Google Ads. It took our best specialist 3 years to truly learn how to build a proper semantic core, a carefully selected set of keywords that attract the right audience, and that's someone who's a total workaholic with a seriously high IQ. Not through theory or educational courses, but by running real client campaigns, testing, adjusting, and refining everything over time. AI on its own still doesn't fully grasp your business performance deeply enough to build effective campaigns, but with the right direction and a sharp human brain behind it, it can be a powerful assistant. Let's move on to analytics. Roughly 8 out of 10 clients who come to us have even the most basic Google Analytics setup on their website done incorrectly. They can't track how many people completed key actions, like submitting a form. Not all buttons are tracked, some devices are missing from the data, and UTM tags aren't being used at all. We use additional tools like Microsoft Clarity. If we speak about social media, tools like the Facebook Pixel and TikTok Pixel are essential for tracking. Now let's take a look at which metrics are important to track. You can see the answers on the slide, because when you know what to look at, you can clearly tell whether you're losing money or actually making it. You might ask me, which metrics results are considered good for my business? And the answer is, it depends on your business specifics, niche, and budget. Every situation is unique. For example, promoting a psychologist on social media is much easier than promoting one of our other clients, a domain provider. Attracting 20,000 followers in several months without ads for a psychologist account is much easier than getting the same result in the domain niche. That's because psychology offers plenty of emotionally charged, high trigger topics with strong pain points like she left you and you still miss her, what's now? This makes it much easier to attract both followers and paying clients. So what should you do? How can you tell if your product or service promotion is truly effective? You might also have a lot of other questions. What kind of content to create, which strategy to choose, or something else entirely? If that's the case, I've prepared a surprise for you, just like I promised at the beginning of the video, a free 30-minute discovery call where we'll dive into your current situation and walk you through the exact steps you need to take to get the result you're aiming for. Just send me the word call in a direct message on Instagram or by email. One important thing to note, our goal isn't to take anyone's job. It's to boost your results. We can either guide your current team or fully manage your social media and Google Ads for you. If you've experienced major failures in marketing in the past, it's important not to fall into despair and stay stuck in the same place for months or even years. You can choose to trust professionals, and I want to point out we're not the kind of specialists who sell you magic pills or fake promises just to take your money. We bring real expertise and a deep understanding of how to scale businesses. This idea of saving money by doing everything yourself or hiring low qualified specialists for cheap often leads to burnout or worse, big losses in both time and money in the long run. Whether your goal is brand awareness, community building, sales, or follower growth, we are here to deliver the results that matter to you. So I'll be waiting to speak with you on the call. Have a great day.